Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna. Sorry. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Sing an octave higher. Octave higher. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hari Rama Hare Ram Ram Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Ram Ram Rama Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Oh, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Rasa. Hare Krishna, hey. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. ¿Qué pasa, hombre? One push, play, one push. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Too low. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. I get finished. That was a knockout.
Hare Krishna. Please give a round of applause to His Holiness Kadamba Kanana Maharaj. While we set up for the presentation and the speeches, humbly request everyone in the hallway, if you could start coming into the temple now, because I assume once the traffic lets up, this room will be filled 3 times as much with devotees. So if you would like to get a good seat to hear from our distinguished guests, so please come forward and come in the temple hall now. Don't worry, the cookies and tea will be still available throughout the evening, so there's no rush to eat them all at this minute, and prasadam will be served at 8 o'clock. So please come forward. Today we are having a very special evening, so you might be wondering why there is no typical Sunday feast activity. It's because we are trying to use this time wisely to share some information and updates about the current activities of ISKCON New York, and to share some vision, some glimpses into the future of ISKCON's activity in New York. So for that, I would like to invite onto the stage our chief guests, His Holiness Radhanath Swami, His Grace Vaisheshika Prabhu, and our temple president, Hansaru Prabhu, to come on the stage and bless us with their presence as we begin the presentation. I'm sorry. His Holiness Kadamba Kanana Swami, His Holiness Radhanath Swami, and His Grace Vaisheshika Prabhu, please humbly request you to take your seat on the stage. Hare Krishna. So now I would like to request His Grace Hansarupa Prabhu, our temple president. He will share some words and speak some words of welcome to all of you. Hare Krishna.
Jai Shri Radha Govinda Dev. Thank you all for coming. Nice to see so many familiar faces. Some coming from quite some distance, so we appreciate that even more. This is a very special time for us. It's the new beginning. And if anyone, I'm sure everyone by now has seen, maybe not, we're going to play it again just for everyone's benefit. The short, and this is representative of the talent that Radha Govinda has attracted. It's not something that we have or anyone else, but there's so much potential. And I'm sure most of you know this, having been here for many years and seen how things have progressed to this point. But also we have on the stage here hundreds of years of successful execution of projects to please Srila Prabhupada. So this is what is being concentrated here by the global community, by the GBC. This is not just some random assignment. This is the best that we have to offer. Right now, almost exclusively for New York. That's how important. Srila Prabhupada said, New York, is my most important project. He always qualified that. New York is the most important city in the world. Fifth Avenue is the most important street in the most important city in the world. And of course, and then he said, New York is our most important project. So this does a good introduction. We've brought this out maybe 2 weeks ago, just to give everyone an opportunity to see how that support has manifested. Some of you may know that at the recent GVC meeting, New York was declared a special project on the same level as Vrindavan, Mayapur, and Bombay. So now there is 4. So this is in recognition, as it always has been, without recognition, that this is a very special area for Prabhupada's preaching. You know, especially highlighted by the most beautiful deities in the world, Sri Sri Radha Govinda Dev. Anyone who has served them faithfully knows this. This is without question. And now we want to give them something, how can you say, suitable for their exclusive stature. And that will be spoken of more elaborately by our esteemed guests. And over the course of the next few months, more and more will come out with regards to how the plan will manifest in the different phases. So please give full attention, and whatever your hopes and dreams are for Radha Govinda, let them be manifest. This is our prayer. So thank you very much for coming, and we'll turn the microphones over. And what's the best way to do this? Oh, do you want to do that first? Yes. No, I think some people haven't. How many people have seen the presentation? New beginning? Only a couple. Oh no, then we should do it now. I thought maybe more. I think that might want.
He's what it is, Raghunath Maharaj ki.
I'm going to kill these lights. Yes. Okay. So then say
So before we hear about the great beginning or the new beginning, we wanted to share a few glimpses about ISKCON's history in New York and what we've done to date in the last year. This is very informative to us when we compiled the data that we will be sharing this evening as to what our potential is, just based on the few successes that we've had the last year. So while we're waiting for the lights to turn off, I would request His Holiness Kadamba Kanana Maharaj to share some words and realizations from his activity over the last year here in New York.
Hare Krishna. When Srila Prabhupada crossed the ocean on the Jaladuta and was heading for New York, Srila Prabhupada was not just thinking of preaching in New York City. Srila Prabhupada was very much aware that from New York he would go to the world. And that remained his vision. It also came to pass in that way. Prabhupada in a humble storefront, Prabhupada under a tree in Tompkins Square Park, and that all multiplied in so many temples all over the world. Prabhupada coming across the ocean with a suitcase filled with books, which multiplied in more than 500 million books. Prabhupada single-handedly distributing these books. It multiplied in worldwide book distribution. Now in this month of December, so many devotees are distributing books everywhere. In this way, Prabhupada knew, he knew that from New York, everything would multiply. And that formula was not a one-time formula. That formula remains the formula from which New York will again become stronger and stronger, and again influence the world, because that is the position of New York in the world of today. Currently, our temple is needing more attention. Currently, our temple needs more enthusiasm. It needs more devotees. It needs so many more activities to fulfill its real purpose. And yet, so many wonderful things have also happened. A great Rath Yatra was celebrated this year. Many people were happy because they got a chance to participate. New programs are starting, and gradually a new beginning is starting in a humble way by the service of the devotees. It is by devotees making an effort that this movement became great. Prabhupada instilled a seed of inspiration in the heart of the devotees, and so everything went forward. This is how it will happen again, by individuals coming forward and with a desire to somehow or other please Srila Prabhupada and take this Krishna consciousness everywhere, first all over the city of New York, and then all over the world. And all along, Krishna consciousness will enter into our hearts. As one distributes Krishna consciousness, the Chaitanya Charitamrita states, one's own Krishna consciousness will increase. So that is the way to bring life to our own spiritual lives, in service to Srila Prabhupada. So this formula is the key to our new beginning. And we see that this is happening. It is wonderful to see that tonight His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj is here taking special interest in New York. It is very wonderful to see that Vaisheshika Prabhu is here and was heading up a Sankirtan festival, a book distribution festival yesterday. It is wonderful to see that there are many other leaders who are not here today, but who are coming regularly, and of course are deeply involved, like Devamrita Swami. In this way, this project is cared for by many, and that we saw. We saw that at a time of need, many devotees from everywhere showed interest in New York, because, after all, this is the birthplace of the Hare Krishna movement. This is the place where Prabhupada went, and this is the place that is meant to lead the world in many ways. So, keeping that in mind, many great plans are being developed, and we will hear more about that this evening. I just speak about the spirit of what motivates us all and then we will hear more about ideas and things we could do to make to strengthen the entire atmosphere in this temple, so that from here so much mercy can flow in all directions. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Kadamba Maharaj. Maharaj is the Special Duty Officer for ISKCON of New York, and he is committed to spend up to 6 months every year here in New York for the foreseeable future. So it is a testament to the importance of this project that, we have such wonderful devotees now shifting their schedules and their priorities to come here to New York. So we are grateful that Maharaj is here. Please give him another round of applause. So picking up where Maharaj left off, we wanted to just share some highlights of what ISKCON New York accomplished in the last year. Let me see if this works. Good. Am I controlling or are you controlling it? No, put it, I have to control the slides. It's not a play thing. Okay, good. The technical difficulties of this temple are historic, so thank you for indulging. So we wanted just to share a little brief history about what happened in ISKCON New York. Many of us know what's happened in India and Russia and other places, but what happened here where it all began? So we wanted to just give a few brief slides just to show, how far ISKCON has come and, what the challenges we faced, and then we'll speak about the new beginning. So of course, this is a picture of Srila Prabhupada's matchless gifts at 26 2nd Avenue. This is what Srila Prabhupada said when talking about New York. He said, "I feel a little at home because I first I came here. I was loitering on the street here and there from 1965 to 1967. Continually I stayed in New York." So when Srila Prabhupada came here, he came to New York because it was the most important city of the world then as it is now. And just like any immigrant to New York City, it didn't take long for him to feel at home here. Even though it was the crazy time of the 60s, nobody paid any attention or gave any challenge, but they appreciated what the Swami brought to the New York City culture. So from 1965 to 1977, ISKCON's golden years, New York was at the epicenter of that success. Starting from 26 2nd Avenue, New York City was the birthplace of many of ISKCON's activities. The Sunday Feast, how many of you like a Sunday Feast? Began in New York. The printing and distributing of Prabhupada's books outside of India began where? Right here in New York. Prabhupada went to Queens to pick up a mimeograph machine, and they started printing Back to Godheads that winter of 1966. The deity worship, which is a critical part of devotional service, that began here in New York in 1968 with the small Radha Krishna deities that are still worshipped here in New York on our altar. And so forth and so on, and many hundreds and thousands of devotees, of whom some of the most well-known leaders of ISKCON today had some of their Krishna conscious life in New York City. Most of you may not know, His Grace Vaisheshika Prabhu was a brahmachari in New York for the mid-1970s. And His Holiness Radhanath Swami had come to New York and served in New York many, many times since the mid-70s. I think the first deities Maharaj saw in America were of Radha Govinda. So it's a, this was the place. If you wanted to be a devotee, you had to come to New York and you had to be here. His Holiness Devaramita Swami, another GBC, again, a very vital part of our current leadership. He became a devotee and was preaching in the Iron Curtain. So like that, so many devotees. And so of course, ISKCON New York was always running out of space. So from 26 2nd Avenue, we evolved to 61 2nd Avenue, then hardly a year there. Then we moved to 439 Henry Street, which is just down the road from here. And of course, that space was small very fast, and by the mercy of Lord Krishna, we had acquired that very famous 340 West 55th Street property in Midtown Manhattan. And of course, Srila Prabhupada had come there, and the grandest Rath Yatra in devotees' memories was the Grand New York Rath Yatra of 1976, where Srila Prabhupada himself came, and he has said that that was the triumph of ISKCON's activities in North America. So there was a lot of promise, a lot of potential, and a lot of success. But unfortunately, as time went on, we had some challenges. 1977, Srila Prabhupada left the world and went back to Godhead. And it became a very challenging time for the devotees in ISKCON New York. There was a large building to maintain. Devotees were working day and night just to keep the project going. But things were just not, functioning. So unfortunately, we had to sell the property. The deities actually moved twice, and landing here at 305 Skemerhorn Street in November of 1982. So once we got here, things weren't that much better for a while. There was changes of leadership up and down. Our financial troubles were still there. The neighborhood wasn't that great back then. So it was a difficult time to be a Krishna devotee in New York, but the devotees persevered. And there were still wonderful activities and preaching. There was many devotees joining the movement at that time, but it was not a secure or stable situation. In 1991, we had our leadership stabilized with His Grace Ramabhadra Prabhu as the temple president and His Holiness Ramapad Swami as the GBC. And under their able leadership, the temple actually began to start going up. Finances were stabilized, the devotees and the community became more in sync, and the festivals and the programs started attracting more devotees and attracting a more quality of presentation. Things were going quite well. At the same time, the neighborhood was transitioning. After 9/11, things really picked up with the zoning changes, and every single empty lot, random building, abandoned building was turning into skyscrapers left and right. So now, what was a challenging situation became the most ripe situation. So now, here in 2019, we have the new beginning. Srila Prabhupada was very keen to see how the devotees in New York were doing, so he said, I'm so glad to hear how rapidly our New York center is expanding and how enthusiastic the devotees have become. So that is the first-class qualification for making advancement in Krishna consciousness. This photo was taken in the backyard of the Henry Street Temple. There were a lot of milestones that happened there. So in 2019, more than 50,000 visitors have come to Radha Govinda Temple. Please give yourselves a round of applause. This statistic was actually quite, astonishing, that even though the temple is not so visible from the street, we're not having so many programs, still just the attraction of the deities and Govindas and the devotees has brought more than 50,000 people, devotees, pilgrims into the temple, of which 9,000 pilgrims have attended temple festivals. How many of you enjoyed this year's first annual flower festival? Anybody? I hope so, because next year we'd like to do it again and in a grander scale. And of the 50,000 who have come, 65,000 meals were served in 2019, depending on whether it was a Sunday feast or Govindas, which had 20,000 diners in 2019. We've served a lot of prasadam. And most of you may know our kitchen isn't the most newest or the most technological, but somehow the devotees have persevered and made some wonderful prasadam, including what you'll be having tonight. So please stick around. 15,000 books distributed in 2019. Hari Hari Bol! This is certainly Srila Prabhupada's mercy upon us. The dedicated devotees under the leadership of His Grace Vaisheshika Prabhu have taken this book distribution to heart, and every month since September of 2018, we've been distributing books regularly through the MSF program, and once we reacquired the property, devotees have been going out literally every day. And this year for the Christmas Marathon, by the way, it's the first marathon we've had in maybe 15 years. The devotees had a small target. Let's distribute 3,000 books. But they killed it, and in New York language, they crushed it. They've distributed close to 9,000 books in this Christmas marathon. So please give them a round of applause. But as Hansarupa Prabhu says, we're not done yet. We still have another 20 days to go before the new year. So let's see if they can take that tally to 20,000. So please give your prayers and blessings so they can achieve that. 1,000 events have been organized by New York ISKCON in 2019. How many of you attended the Times Square Kirtan that we had? How many of you thought it was a good idea? So this is, again, just the beginning. We've made some good communication with the Parks Department and other public venues where we do intend to have kirtans and programs regularly. It is not fair for us to keep the mission of Mahaprabhu stuck within the four walls of this temple, so in 2020, definitely look out. We want to have more and more events as the days go by. So if you're not on our mailing list or on Facebook, or if you're stuck under a rock, please dig yourself out and get yourself connected so you know what's going on, so you can participate. Of the 1,000 or so events, we specifically had 100 plus outreach events here in the temple since 2019. So the devotees headed by Hari Vilas Prabhu, our vice president, started a concept called the Lotus Room. And through that aegis of that entity, they've been having very specific events that are geared towards bringing the public into the temple doors and giving them a chance to understand Krishna consciousness in different ways. This is a cooking class that was organized by Mother Sukhanti Devi Dasi. She's there in the back. You can raise your hand. Please. So I just learned she's starting another venue here called Radharani's Bake Shop. So do look for that coming out in 2020. So these are the things. We have young devotees who are coming and they're being attracted because there's an opportunity to do something for Krishna and to serve Krishna. And of course, nothing has been possible without our volunteers. This year, we've had over 12,000 hours of volunteer service. So please give yourselves a round of applause. We have our triumvirate back there, Mahaprabhu Das, Premadana Prabhu, and Nam Sankirtan. You can raise your hands. So these three unsung heroes have come in, day out, any challenge, any problem, any festival, without even blinking an eye, they have come and rolled up their sleeves and did the service. So, and of course, this is just the beginning. Hopefully, we are trying to create an environment that's clean and accessible and therefore more conducive to devotional service. Okay, this is the fun part, the finances. I know many of our congregation wanted to hear about the finances. Unfortunately, they're still stuck in traffic, but we're going to go on. Just let them know what they missed. So this year in 2019, our finances have been pretty stable. We started with a bank balance of almost nothing. And in 2019, we've basically through donations and other income, our income totaled about $486,000, which is not bad, considering that we have a lot to do. And by Krishna's mercy, our expenses were about the same, about $489,000 in different categories, primarily in operations and bhoga, utility like that. So there's ways that we are investigating how to reduce our expenses, and of course there are ways which we're hoping to increase our income potential so that we can facilitate more and more activities. But currently we have some needs which we'll be speaking about in a few minutes. So now, just the team. There's a wonderful team of devotees that's making this possible. First, let's talk about this. Srila Prabhupada was very keen on the management of the New York Temple. He said, this New York City is the greatest city of the world, so all of you managers should cooperate together and do something gorgeous. And this was his instruction to all of us, especially in New York. He wanted the devotees in New York to cooperate. He wanted there to be a cooperative managerial spirit. And this we are attempting in 2019 and onwards to please Srila Prabhupada. So we have committed leadership. We have devotees like the GBCs who are sitting here on the stage, and many other leaders of ISKCON who are now regularly coming to New York, regularly giving their time and their precious time and energy to see this New York project happen. And there are more and more leaders coming. Like in the back we have Mother Vrajalila and Ekavira Prabhu. They are here. Please give them a round of applause. So they are very senior disciples of Bhakti Tirtha Swami, and Mother Vrajalila, she also is a New York devotee. She joined in New York back in the 70s. So they have committed to come next year to start doing seminars in different topics of leadership and grahastha life and like that. So look out for them. Then we have many dedicated residents. So this is just a small sampling of the number of devotees living in the temple. And this is just their kindness that they have chosen to come to New York and stay here. Hansrupa Prabhu, many of you may not know, he was semi-retired, serving in Vrindavan, taking care of cows in Srila Prabhupada's Samadhi. And then when the need was there, the GBC had called him, and he was actually praying to Srila Prabhupada at that moment, is there some way that I can please you? And then at that moment, the GBC leaders had called Hansrupa Prabhu and said, Radha Govinda in New York needs you. And without even blinking, without even thinking, he immediately got his ticket, packed his bags, and came to New York, and he hasn't left. So please give him a round of applause. And we are very fortunate to have someone like Hamsarupa Prabhu in our midst. He's an old-time New York devotee, and meaning old-time since the 70s, and he's been involved in every aspect of service in New York, from doing books to renovation to taking care of the deities, and even today he's doing the same things. You won't see him sitting in his office surfing the internet. He'll be out either doing books or at Mangalarti with the devotees, or on the roof fixing a leak, or inspecting the altar and the deities and paraphernalia and see how we can improve everything. And he is, his door is always open. So it's never a difficult opportunity, no difficulties to, reach out to him and see how we can, serve and be a part of the success. And please give yourselves a round of applause once more, because we have a very, very dedicated community. This, picture really represents our dynamic community. For Govardhan Puja this year, we really went to the Krishna book where the Supreme Lord instructed all the residents of Vrindavan to make offerings for Govardhan Hill. And for Govardhan Puja, our community really came forward. More than 200 offerings were made by the loving hands of all the Brijavasis of Brooklyn, and they had offered it to Govardhan, this wonderful day. And this is just one little inkling and sampling. From the very first days, our congregation was always, eager to come, and they were coming after work on the weekend, picking up bhoga from the grocery store or flowers from the airport, whatever was needed. Our congregation is really coming through. So this is something that we want to build upon and really, somehow improve and make a more viable opportunity. But now the less good part. This is what our need is. New York is the most important center, so things should be arranged there very first class. This is Srila Prabhupada's guideline. When we're serving Krishna, our facility has to be as first class as the devotees, and therefore our consciousness has to be first class. So our mind is in the right place, the spirit is in the right place, but this body, the temple, is still a bit behind. So now we need to bring the body up to that first class level. So these are our two needs. We want to start doing some upgrades in the temple. We've been here for almost 30 years, and the last time any renovation was done was when we moved in, back in 1982. So I think it's about time we did something. Most of the devotees think so. And it's not much. We're not looking to, tear the building down, not yet immediately, but at least we want to make the temple a more accessible, a more inviting place for devotees to come and practice Krishna consciousness, for us to bring our friends, our co-workers, for us to be able to hear about Krishna and chant Krishna's names and not worry about whether the heat will go out or if there are some, unknown vermin on the floor. And this is just the reality. So we need to just get this building above that transitory situation. So the next few images are some of the ideas which we are working with, and we'd like to offer to Radha Govinda these ideas today and offer them to all of you for your blessings. And hopefully this will inspire some of you to participate in tonight's fundraising adventure. The first thing we want to do is create a brand new lobby for the temple. So most of you know that we have the shoe room and we have that lobby there, but our goal is to connect it all and create a more, professional looking lobby with new seating, new artwork, reception area, and a more dedicated place for shoes and coats, as well as places for devotees to sit and be received, and with sound and other things. The next, the Lotus Room. How many of you have had an event at the Lotus Room yet, downstairs? So that's been a wonderful project, but without a real permanent home. Sometimes we've had some wooden partitions up. I think it's canvas partitions at the moment. So we want to use some of the funds that we collect at this fundraising dinner to make it a proper room with a full wall and nice lighting and the technology and whatever, so we can have nice, larger events in there, yoga classes, so forth and so on. In that vein, downstairs also we have a couple of underutilized storage rooms that are just sitting there, just collecting dust and water. So we want to renovate those and turn them into a multi-purpose room, again, for smaller events, a place for our Sunday school to have a home so they can have classes in there, as well as other activities. This is another one. We want to we want to relocate the Pujari room upstairs to the second floor and transform that space into a new library and some handicap restrooms. Which has been a need for many of our devotees for a long time, to have accessible facilities, as well as the deity worship ministry, has suggested many different times that the deity's paraphernalia should be in a more secluded part of the building. So this is what we are trying to accomplish. So as you can see, we have the expenses are outweighing our income. So the red section is the $125,000, which we have estimated for the materials to do some of these renovation projects. And then we have two other numbers. The first is we have, unfortunately, in order to achieve this facility and to start doing our activities, we've had to take the services of lawyers and such to facilitate what we're doing here. So there are some bills outstanding to them, as well as some old debt service that we've had inherited from past management and past affairs. So we need to just button those things up so that we can use every Lakshmi point, every penny that's collected in 2020 for Krishna service. So this is the goal for tonight's program. Of course, if we don't achieve the goal tonight, we're definitely working towards to achieving that very soon. So of the total that we wish to collect tonight, 50% will go towards taking care of those outstanding debts that we have, and then 50% will go specifically towards renovation for the new facilities. So, for how much can we get done for $125,000? Not much if we're hiring our labor and so forth. But like I said, we have a very strong volunteer crew, and we have many more devotees who are capable and qualified in all different areas of construction. So if they're given the means to do something, then they will come and make it happen. So we definitely need to get our foot going in that direction. So, okay. Now this is the video that our Vaisheshika Prabhu made to help introduce the program for tonight. Let's play that. Wait. You have to raise the volume on it.
I was wandering in the street and some people saw me and they came to me. And actually I did not try. I was wandering in the street and some people saw me and they came to me. And actually I did not try people, but the institution, the right.
Srila Prabhupada suffered greatly in spreading the Krishna consciousness movement in the early days, as well as all his followers who joined him. New York City is the capital of the world. It's the most important city, and that's why Srila Prabhupada came directly there, all the way from Vrindavan, India. There are people all over New York City wandering the streets. They're looking for the greatest of opportunities, but they're not finding it. We have that opportunity. Lord Chaitanya's movement.
When we think about New York, we should think about the greatest opportunity. A Vaishnava is an opportunist. That means whenever we see a great situation for service, we go for it. New York is the biggest stage on the planet, and right now it's presenting the biggest opportunity for service. We humbly invite everyone to take advantage of this special opportunity to revive Srila Prabhupada's mission in New York City.
Many of us, we don't believe that it's just a local project with local devotees working hard. It is an opportunity for our whole society to come together at a time of great need for this exciting adventure of manifesting Srila Prabhupada's dream of a wonderful project in New York City.
Now there's a great renewal of the ISKCON project in New York City, starting with the Bhagavad Gita. Srila Prabhupada brought with him Srimad Bhagavatam to America, which perfectly explained Lord Chaitanya's movement and the opportunity familiar file. Now again, we're bringing back the Srimad Bhagavatam and offering it to you, a limited edition signed by the present leaders of ISKCON. It's something that will never be available again. You can become part of the history and the future of ISKCON by taking one of these Bhagavatam sets and contributing mightily to the project in New York City, revitalizing the world by bringing up the first project that Prabhupada ever put his heart and soul into in New York City. Thank you very much for participating. Hare Krishna.
Srila Prabhupada ki. So, rather than me try to explain what our program is tonight with the fundraising, let me turn the mic over to His Grace Vaisheshika Prabhu, who will explain and inspire.
Hare Krishna. I offer my respectful obeisances to His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada and all of you, as you are Vaishnavas and therefore the most worshipable in the three worlds. Hare Krishna. I also would like to express my gratitude for sitting in the same room and stage with His Holiness Radhanath Swami and Kadamba Kanada Swami, and many other senior devotees who are present here tonight. You are my life and soul, and I'm delighted to be working with you. And in a community, I've seen how we thrive together by making some sacrifice. Actually, life is full of sacrifice as it is. We don't have to invite it, but we can preemptively sacrifice. This is a doctrine I had heard about in the Srimad Bhagavatam many times. And then I experienced it for myself once. Where did I hear about it in the Srimad Bhagavatam? In the section where the demigods had been advised by Lord Vishnu that they needed to have a special weapon in order to defeat Vritrasura. And how would they do that? They would have to approach a great sage. And his name was Dadichi. And Dadichi had something to offer. He had very specialized bones. They had been fortified by the Narayana Kavacha. And so when the demigods came to Dadichi to ask for his bones, they had been informed already by Lord Vishnu that he might present some argument because he likes to hear the science of self-realization, how one is not one's body, and how the highest sacrifice in life will bring the greatest fruit. And sure enough, when they approached Dadichi, they asked him for a little donation. And what was that donation? I would like you to imagine if someone came to your door and asked you for a little donation. You said, "How can I help?" And they said, "We'd just like to have your bones, please." Well, Dadichi, of course, said, how and why should I give up my body? And the demigod said, "It's for Vishnu." And after very little explaining, Dadichi said, "Of course, because I'm going to have to give up my body anyway. Therefore, I'm finding that this is the most opportune situation. And who could ask for anything more than have a situation to actually give something on the order of Vishnu?" So, I had a personal revelation of this story, although it may be obvious to you now I didn't give up my bones. But one day, the first day that I had arrived in India for Kartik, where I spend the month, every Kartik I spend 30 days at Govardhan Hill, and I had gone to take a bath in Radhakund at the beginning of Kartik. Normally when I'm there, and I've been there for 19 years consecutively, before I leave, I give a donation to the temple president of the ashram at which I stay at Govardhan Hill, Sri Bhaktivedanta Ashram at Govardhan. Now this first day, I went into the Radhakund. I had walked there, and I said my Gayatri mantras, and then I came back out, and all my clothes were gone. Inside my clothes were my pen and pad that had a few ideas on it. It had some cash, not a lot, but enough to make me notice. Besides the fact that I was on foot and I only had a gamcha, I had to walk back to the ashram another hour and a half pretending that I was a sadhu. When I reached the ashram, uncharacteristically, I walked into my room and I pulled out the donation that I normally give at the end, and I gave it immediately. And why did I do that? Because I was acutely aware of the fact that at any moment, whatever I have can be taken from me. If you've ever had something unceremoniously taken from you, there's a kind of awareness that we're helpless in this world. Whatever we have can go away at any minute. And that's when I remembered Didichi. My clothes were a small price to pay, but the way I felt as a kindred spirit to Didichi was his idea of preemptive giving. And that is, give before it's taken. So in communities where there are opportunities to grow together through making sacrifice, especially when we have professionals, people working, and they have some income, the income becomes a burden unless there's an outlet that represents sacrifice to Vishnu. And it's palpable when members of the community put into the fire of sacrifice their hard-earned money for Vishnu, that they become cheerful, and they also discover more capacity to give. They grow. It's counterintuitive, but we grow when we give, especially to Krishna. And the very compelling aspect of this is that whatever I have now will be taken away unceremoniously at some point. And so I heard Prabhupada say once that devotees are very intelligent because they know how to cheat death before death cheats them. And one of the ways to do that is to become a preemptive giver and give it to Krishna before it's taken. And it reminded me also of a joke I heard one time. And if I may, I'll relay it to you. May I? You're not too much in a solemn mood to hear a joke? Is it okay? Okay. So, two gentlemen were walking down the street, and I won't say it was New York, I'll say it's Omaha, Nebraska, and someone stepped out with a pistol and said, please, carefully hand me all your money. And the two friends that were walking down the street were startled, but one of them had the presence of mind to say, we will do so under the circumstances, but first, let me do something really quick. And he pulled out his wallet, and he took out $20, and he said to his friend, Stan, here's the $20 I owe you. This, I think, in a humorous way, fits into the doctrine of preemptive giving. And if it's not a man with a pistol, it comes in some other way. Really, the goal of life is to give our hearts to the Lord. And one of the ways that that begins is sacrificing some of our resources, and then we feel that actually the Lord is supporting us. And I also find in our community out on the West Coast and Silicon Valley that every time we depend on Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who the Chaitanya Charitamrita describes as the greatest capitalist in the world, we find new faith by taking a risk for Lord Chaitanya. So tonight's event we had been thinking about for some time, and how to offer some return gift for those who want to do preemptive giving. And we've always found that when we base our giving on Srimad Bhagavatam, that it creates an auspicity that is unparalleled. That was what Srila Prabhupada depended on, as Kandam Makananda Maharaj just said when he came to America, is the Srimad Bhagavatam. And when we depend on the Bhagavatam and worship the Bhagavatam, and we're worshiping Krishna directly. So I arranged in Mayapur at the beginning of the year, anticipating this very night, to have all the leaders that were present at Mayapur at the time, at the SGGS. It's an assembly where devotees come together to discuss strategy and think about how to expand the Krishna conscious movement all over the world. And we brought in some sets of Bhagavatams and had the leaders sign them specifically for New York. And everyone was extremely enthusiastic, and they put their heart and soul into the project of signing, which took several days and a bit of organization, what to speak of getting the books all the way back here to New York City. But they're here, and as you heard in the video, it's a transcendental item or gift that will never be available again. The same configuration of devotees and the circumstances that were there can't be reproduced. So tonight, for different categories of offerings, as you'll see from the offering forms that the devotees are passing out to you now, we have various levels of giving and return gifts at each level, including what's on the board here. And I think I'll leave it to Chaitanya Nanda Prabhu to tell you about the levels. I just wanted to give you the feeling behind what this project is about, or tonight's event is about, and that is that when we work together to try to improve the environment and the service to the Lord, then the Lord reciprocates in unimaginable ways. And this is an opportunity for all of us to come together, a lot of people each doing a little bit. Yesterday, when we were in the subways distributing books, because it was raining outside, I met several people, and they were slightly hesitant at first to donate because they weren't sure about how much to give. And I told them that we're like little bees, and we visit each flower, we only take a little bit of pollen. And bees do quite well collecting from each flower, just a tiny little bit. And in a community like this, if everyone does their level best, whatever they can do, or a little bit more, so that afterwards there's a slight feeling of, I made a sacrifice, then it's palpable. The whole community rises to a new level by the grace of Lord Krishna. So I'm really touched that all of you came out tonight for this event, and we look forward to making steady improvements here, putting our goodwill into the project and serving to see this as a beacon for the whole world for Lord Chaitanya's movement and the glory of Srila Prabhupada. Thank you very much for thinking like Dadichi tonight and remembering the doctrine of preemptive giving. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So the wonderful Prabhus and Matajis of our temple are passing around cards, wanted to just briefly just read out to you our different sponsorship opportunities for tonight. The minimum donation of $500 if you're giving tonight for this specific festival, the fundraising event, you will be receiving a set of Chaitanya Charitamrita that was signed by the local GBC members. So in this case, His Holiness Radhanath Swami, His Grace Vaisheshika Prabhu, and His Holiness Kadamba Karna Maharaj. And I have seen the Maharajas sign the books just a little while ago, so they are hot off the press, so to say, and they are ready to bless your homes for eternity. And along with that, as a special token of our appreciation, some of the Mahaprasad from Sri Sri Radha Govinda, they've accumulated more than almost 50 years worth of paraphernalia, some jewelry, and so many wonderful things. So with the help of the pujaris, we have identified certain pieces that we can give on their behalf in reciprocation to the sponsors tonight. For a pledge of $1,000 tonight, we will be giving you a set of Srimad Bhagavatam, also signed by the local GBC members. And I saw Vaisheshika Prabhu signing the books just about 30 minutes ago before the presentation started, so they're definitely here and ready for the taking. For a set, now this is what Prabhu was talking about, for a donation of $2,500 or more, we will be able to share with you a Srimad Bhagavatam set that was signed by all of the GBC members. And in the spirit of giving, that set will be formally installed in your home, because the Srimad Bhagavatam is as worshipable as a deity. And of course with that, we will also be giving dust from Srila Prabhupada's shoes. Do we have those shoes handy? So many of you may not know, but Srila Prabhupada, when he came to 1965, he wore a pair of shoes. Obvious. But those shoes are still with us here in New York today. So we managed to carefully remove those shoes from its protective covering, and we brought some holy dust from Mayapur, as well as dust from the Brooklyn Piers, where Srila Prabhupada actually, from Vrindavan dust, as well as the dust from the Brooklyn Piers where Srila Prabhupada walked. And so there's another wonderful Mahaprasad collector's item for your worship, the dust of Srila Prabhupada's sacred shoes. So I asked Hansru Prabhu to actually bring those shoes out, if possible, so that everyone can have darshan of those shoes today as part of tonight's event. For a donation of $5,000 or better, we can offer you a set of Srimad Bhagavatam that was signed by all of the GBC members, and this is the key word, and His Holiness Jayapataka Swami. Now, Srila Jayapataka Swami, suffered a very serious stroke 10 years ago, and of course, by the mercy of Sri Krishna and all of the prayers of the devotees around the universe, he managed to survive. So due to his health, he was not able to participate fully, but he managed to sign 3 or 4 sets of Srimad Bhagavatam, 3 sets. So those sets are available today, and because it's a little bit more precious, because Maharaj is not able to properly write, but he managed to get his signature on 3 sets of books. So that's for a minimum donation of $5,000. And of course, also for that special donation, His Grace Vaisheshika Prabhu, who told us he spends every Kartik in Vrindavan, will be organizing a special Go Puja, a cow puja to the cows at Govardhan on the day of Gopastami, which is the day when Lord Krishna was given the charge of the cows of Nanda Maharaj. So it's a very special opportunity to have your prayers be offered directly to the cows of Govardhan Hill, who are so dear to Lord Krishna. For a donation of $10,000 tonight, this is a very special opportunity, because not only will you receive all of the special gifts that are offered, the installation of Srimad Bhagavatam at your home will be conducted by one of the wonderful guests here tonight. That means they'll physically come to your home and conduct the program. So this will be a very rare opportunity to have one of the senior-most leaders of ISKCON visit your home, bless your home, and give you an opportunity to worship them as well as Srimad Bhagavatam. So it's a very important, a very unique opportunity. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. See, the shoes are walking in now with Hansarupa Prabhu on his head. So this is, I think, our most priceless artifact and treasure. These are the same rubber-soled shoes that Srila Prabhupada actually came to America with. So they'll be here on display. Right now they're here, but we'll be putting them by Srila Prabhupada so that everyone can have darshan of them. But to have the actual dust that touched those shoes, it's considered very, very auspicious and very much worshipable by you in your spiritual practice. And so at the 10,000 level, we'll have all of the wonderful gifts. The installation program will be conducted by one of the GBC members sitting here. So potentially Srila Radhanath Swami will come to your home and conduct the program, which is a very rare occurrence now. So it's one of those blessings that Maharaj has given to the city of New York, where he will come and be with you. As well as there will be a Mahayagya done at the base of Govardhan, which Vaisheshika Prabhu does semi-annually for the blessing of the devotees who are engaged in the Sankirtan movement. But he'll add a special prayer for all the donors who are donating tonight at that yagya. So if you really want to go during the month of Kartik, so if you really want to accelerate your path back to Godhead, having a pure devotee, remember you at Govardhan during the month of Kartik, it's astronomically multiplied in your favor. And for a donation of $108,000 or minimum, not only will you have all the other wonderful gifts, but this is a rare, very rare occurrence where you can accompany the GBC members on a guided tour of Srila Prabhupada's holy sites in New York City. So not only can you visit Henry Street, the Bowery, but there are other lesser known places that Srila Prabhupada had went to, like West 72nd Street and of course the 55th Street Temple and even more unique places where he walked under the Brooklyn Bridge. But you'll be able to have a chance to hear the realizations of the devotees who were with Srila Prabhupada in the 70s and 80s at those holy places, and it will be just a day that nobody will ever forget. So that is the goal tonight. So and this is the last slide, with your help we can improve Sri Radha Govinda's temple facilities, ensure that we are financially stable for the next year. This is such that we can use our time and resources to make the year 2020 an exciting one in service to Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki! So Srila Prabhupada had many letters about Brooklyn, and we're ending with this quote tonight. He said, regarding our new temple in Brooklyn, Krishna has given you a very good chance to serve him. Now we have got it, and Krishna is giving us all other opportunities. Please try to utilize all of these opportunities in his service. Thank you very much. Shri Shri Radha Govinda Deva Ki. So while all of you are still thinking about how much you want to pledge tonight, if you need another card to write more than one pledge, please raise your hand. We'll be happy to hand some out. If you're not sure if you want to pledge this very minute, we have pledge cards outside. But like we had said throughout the presentation, today is only the beginning. So with that, we would like to invite our guest, His Holiness Radhanath Swami, to speak about what's happening past the beginning. There is a vision that Srila Prabhupada had talked about in different conversations with devotees in New York, and now it's being finally visualized and manifested by the leaders of ISKCON we see here today. If you think that things are rocking now, wait till you hear what Srila Radhanath Swami is going to be telling us, because from his vantage point, he's already seen where the entire city of New York is Krishna conscious. So for those of you who may not be able to see, Srila Radhanath Swami is getting directly blessed by Srila Prabhupada's shoes tonight. Hari Hari Bol! Srila Vaisheshika Prabhu is getting blessed tonight. And Srila Kadamba Maharaj as well is getting blessed tonight. So please. So one thing we didn't mention, but for those of you who are kind enough to sponsor tonight and tonight only, we will take the opportunity to bring Srila Prabhupada's shoes to your home, to bless your home and to bless your family. So please do consider very seriously what you can offer tonight in the service of Sri Sri Radha Govinda. So now to talk about the vision for ISKCON New York and ISKCON's future in New York, please welcome His Holiness Radhanath Swami.
Jnananjana Chalakaya Chakshurun Militam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Astadhyate Shatharine Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. My sincerest gratitude to each and every one of you who have come on this very holy occasion to Sri Radha Govinda Dev Temple. Today, according to our Vaishnava calendar, it is the disappearance day of Srila Prabhupada's beloved spiritual master. His divine grace, Om Vishnu Pad Paramahansa Parivrajagacharya Astottara Sri Srimad Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Goswami Prabhupada. This morning I spent some hours hearing various recordings of Srila Prabhupada speaking on this occasion. Perhaps more than any other festival day that was recorded of Srila Prabhupada's lectures was on either the appearance or disappearance day of his Guru Maharaj. Srila Prabhupada said that every day devotees pray, Vansha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhu evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. It's an offering of respect, an offering of heartfelt gratitude the devotees. Why? Because a devotee is one who dedicates his or her life for the benefit of other people. We could call ourselves devotees, but what is actually a devotee mean? All the external observances that we accept, the rules, the regulations, and all of these things is meant to bring us to the point of actually being devotees. Those who dedicate their lives for the benefit of the people. In loving Krishna, Srila Prabhupada said, we naturally love all living entities. Because to the extent we love Krishna, we see everyone's relationship with Krishna. And therefore, Prabhupada said, the meaning of the Krishna consciousness movement is to feel for the sufferings of all others. Many of us do not have that realization, but we should be aware that that is what we are aspiring for. Srila Prabhupada said, a devotee is not so concerned with one's own personal comforts or discomforts, but is willing to make whatever sacrifice is required for the higher cause of being an instrument of God's compassion. So in this way, Srila Prabhupada defined what is a devotee, what is a Vaishnava, and what is the Krishna consciousness movement. In other words, what we should be aspiring to be, to follow. And then Srila Prabhupada explains his own life. He was a very, very strong, dedicated follower of Mahatma Gandhi. This was in the 1920s. And his friend, Narendra, he said, I want you to meet a great sadhu. Prabhupada said, I do not want to meet any sadhus. Prabhupada said, I had met so many sadhus, and I just didn't care for sadhus, because their behavior was not what they were speaking about. And sometimes even what they were speaking about is what sadhus speak about. But Prabhupada said, at that time, he said, from my earliest childhood, among my peers, I was always the leader. So in order to get like the certification of the sadhu, they needed Srila Prabhupada. So they brought him. The place of that first meeting, just this year, we procured that facility, 1 Ultadunga Junction Road in Calcutta. And at their first meeting, at the first instance, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada said to Prabhupada, you are an intelligent young man. You should bring the message of Lord Chaitanya in the English language to the Western world. And Srila Prabhupada had a discussion Who is going to take us seriously when we're still under the British control? Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, in his pure compassion, he said, everything changes in this world. Political parties, who's running different nations, it's always changing. But one thing is eternal, that every living being is part of Krishna, part of God. And the deepest potential of every soul is to love God. That is the greatest need in the world, to awaken that love. And Srila Prabhupada, when he left that place, his friends said, "What did you think?" And Prabhupada said, Lord Chaitanya's mission is in the hands of the right person. Years later, Prabhupada said he accepted, not officially, but in his heart, his Guru Maharaj at that first moment. And he was given a lifelong instruction. In December of 1936, about 15 years later, now he was already an initiated disciple, he wrote a letter to his guru in Jagannath Puri. He said, most all of your other disciples are sannyasis, brahmacharis, living in the mutts and the ashrams. I'm a grihasta with a family. How could I best serve you? On December 13th, there was a letter dated that Srila Prabhupada soon received, which said, you should try to spread Lord Chaitanya's message of compassion in the English language to the people of the Western world. This will be very good for you, and this will be good for all the people who help you. It was exactly the same message. And just 18 days after Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada wrote this message, he disappeared from this world. December 31st, 1936. Kadamba Kanana Maharaj has explained how Srila Prabhupada prepared his whole life for this purpose. And eventually, in 1965, he chose to come to New York City to fulfill the mission of his Guru Maharaj. When he was here, he said he had no facility, he had no money, he had no followers, he had no one from anywhere in the world who were willing to send anything or anyone to help him. It seemed impossible. But Prabhupada read from the Bhagavad Gita the verse, Vyavashayatmaka buddhir ekeha kurunandana bahushaka hyanantasya buddhayo vyavashayanam. Those who are on this path, the path of true devotion, are resolute in purpose. Their aim is one. Whereas the intelligent of the irresolute is many-branched. Absorption and focus and dedication, taking responsibility is so important. And Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, one of our great acharyas, he commented, this means to take the words of our spiritual master as our life and soul. Srila Prabhupada then said that if we do that and sincerely, earnestly try, then Krishna can miraculously provide all facilities. This, Prabhupada said, is the secret. And that's what Srila Prabhupada did here in New York City. His Guru Maharaj Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur planted a seed in his heart. And here in New York, that seed began to sprout. And Srila Prabhupada kept watering it through his sacrifice, through his devotion, through his compassion. And very soon, it became a tree with branches that stretched to every part of the world, with limitless fruits. And the ripened fruit is the fruit of Krishna Prema, love for Krishna, which is love for all living entities, and the willingness to make sacrifices for that purpose. New York was always considered by Srila Prabhupada to be the most important place in the world. It's the birthplace of his ISKCON movement. In one talk on this occasion of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur's disappearance, Srila Prabhupada spoke to each and every one of us that on this auspicious occasion of the disappearance of my Guru Maharaj, I am trying to push forward this Krishna consciousness. And I am asking all of you to help me to do so. He said, I am very old, and it is nature's law that at any moment any of us could physically depart. But you will be here. Please, I see all of you as the representatives of my spiritual master. And what is Lord Chaitanya's instruction? What is my Guru Maharaj's instruction? I am asking you to accept. The reciprocation of love is what bhakti is. Here in New York City, we can do amazing, incredible, and wonderful things beyond our imagination if we just understand this spirit. Not only did Srila Prabhupada embody it and lived it, but he inspired us to accept it. And that's why he lived it, to inspire us to accept it. Here, Sri Radha Govinda, one of the first deities to be established in America. And certainly in Prabhupada's time, the most prominent deities on this continent. They are here in this very sacred space. I'm a little person, and I crawl around to so many different places in the world. And I'm speaking with total honesty. a few months ago when I actually walked through this whole facility. I never did it before. I was astounded. I was amazed. This is perhaps the most incredible property and the most incredible location that I have seen anywhere outside of India in a city. There's so much that could be done. We could have educational facilities, schools for our children, Vaishnav educational facilities for the adults. We could have theater, wonderful theater. During Prabhupada's time, it was one of the most attractive features that attracted the hearts of the devotees and the people in general. New York people are very inclined toward theater, entertainment. And in the world, we have so many incredibly talented people, especially our younger generation. A couple weeks ago in London, during the 50th anniversary of the Prana Pratishtha of Radha Landanishwar, they had a night at the famous Apollo Theatre. Before the Beatles came to the West, they performed there dozens and dozens of times, I was told. Thousands of people were there. And our younger generation, they were performing such deep, devotional, themed performances with music, with dance, with drama. That's what Lord Chaitanya and Srila Prabhupada wanted in New York. If we have the facility, if we have the vision, we can attract people not only in this local area, but throughout the world. Education, theater, get a wonderful, most magnificent temple room, wonderful restaurants for prasad, incredible prasad distribution of all sorts for the city. As Vaisheshika Prabhu is planting a seed now, wonderful outreach, different types of presentations of pure bhakti through music, through dance, through culture, through philosophy in the various parks and neighborhoods all over New York. Inspire people more and more to actually be a part of a wonderful, loving community. And everything great has its challenges. But in every sphere of life, greatness has always been defined not in the results we get, but in never giving up hope and never giving up our endeavor to reach it. That is our parampara. That is what Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur taught us. That is what Srila Prabhupada taught us. And that is what we have, anyone who has, big or small, whoever we are, anyone who has taken that faith in that principle has not only seen it but experienced it. In any situation that happened this year or very soon, I hope, His Holiness Giriraj Swami Maharaj's book will be released. It's one of the most incredible books. I got to see a preview because I got to write something. But it's about Srila Prabhupada in Mumbai at Sri Radha Ras Bihari's temple. And in every situation, Every step, it seemed more desperate, hopeless, and impossible. But at every step, Prabhupada was more enthusiastic. He was more hopeful. Because he understood, if we do it with sincerity and we work together, Krishna comes. So we can have management plans and we can have organizational plans, and those things are all necessary because that's part of showing our sincerity. But if we have that hope, if we have that faith, and we unite on this higher principle, Shri Radha Govinda, they will have the most wonderful home in all of the Western world. And what does it mean for them to have a wonderful home? It's not just a beautiful temple. It's a place where many, many people of all walks of life are being attracted to their loving service. For Srila Prabhupada, that was his definition of the real success of a temple. He built beautiful temple in Mumbai, and beautiful temple in Vrindavan, and beautiful temple in Mayapur to attract the hearts of people to come and learn the art, the science of pure love of God. And somehow or other, I live in India. I'm from Northern Illinois. What am I doing in New York? Rationally, logically, I don't even know. But somehow or other, I got connected here. And somehow or other, I get to be with all these wonderful Vaishnavas. And from the core of my heart, I know what Srila Prabhupada really wants for all of us and for the world in New York City. And I know it could be done. And I've never seen a more wonderful potential facility than right here in this location. But it will take a vision, and it will take devotees willing to unite and to struggle, because Krishna likes when we struggle. Why? Because that's where he reveals himself. So I'm very, very hopeful and very excited and so very happy that together we could bring Shri Radha Govinda Dev, Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Srila Prabhupada's mercy, knowledge, and grace to New York and to the world. How it's going to be done, there's so many ideas, and every one of them is possible if we attract Krishna. And Radharani and Govinda are already here. Srila Prabhupada brought them here. They're just waiting for us. Thank you very much.
Please give another round of applause to His Holiness Radhanath Swami. So, somehow by Krishna's mercy, we're actually on time. So, I know all of us want to stop hearing me talk, which is fine, but we still have a little bit more to do. We will have kirtan at 7:30. So we have another 25 minutes, actually 20 minutes. If anyone would like to come forward and start giving your pledges today, this will be an opportunity for you to come to His Holiness Radharani Swami or Vaisheshika Prabhu, hand your pledge to them, and you will receive a wonderful gift bag full of some paraphernalia, and then you can collect your books outside at the lobby. So if anyone would like to start coming forward to begin the proceedings, please raise your hands and you can start forming a line, and we can start the gift giving. Because it's the Christmas spirit, so there is opportunity for us to give and receive gifts today. Srila Rupa Goswami, who is the Acharya of devotional service and whose worshipable deity is Radha Govinda, mentions in the Nectar of Instruction that there are 6 loving exchanges between devotees, and the first 2 are giving and receiving gifts. So for your gift tonight, if you can come, if you'd like to come forward, and if you can't come forward tonight, it's okay. The gifts are still available in reciprocation. But if you would like to come forward tonight and give your gift of love to Sri Sri Radha Govinda Dev and for their temple and their future, please come forward tonight and let us try our best to fulfill the vision of the spiritual masters in serving them. So at this moment, I know we have pledged already $10,000. Please give yourselves a round of applause. We have come this far. We have previous to tonight's evening, we already collected that much in pledges by the work of Shobhamai Mataji and other devotees. For those of you who are online, watching on the internet, Haribol, welcome. If you would like to contribute your pledge, you can do so online via our website, ISKCONNYC.com, and your pledges will be fulfilled in a manner that is conducive and convenient to you, as well as practical for the temple, but you will get the same gifts and the same opportunity. Now, for those of you who may not be able to give a minimum $500 today, please don't be discouraged. Any gift given tonight will be given, we will try our best to reciprocate in kind. So please do come forward. Please take the opportunity to give something to Radha Govinda and Srila Prabhupada today. And if you come forward in the next 20 minutes, you can have the opportunity of receiving your blessings and gift directly from His Holiness Radhanath Swami and His Grace Vaisheshika Prabhu. If anyone, so of course this is still a temple, so we still have announcements to do. We can't stop doing that. No? You sure? Oh no, I can do the announcements. Coming up this Christmas Day, we're having our second holiday dinner. Tickets are available outside at the front desk for $25. So please do take your tickets today before they're gone out. Do we have a first pledger? So please welcome Palaka Prabhu, Nandini Radha Mataji, and their 2 boys, Krishna and Balaram. Please give them a round of applause. They are first pledgers tonight. You have to have the pledge card. Did you get the card? Okay, no problem. Yeah, come. Next pledger is Mother Radhika Raman Devidasi. Please give her a round of applause. She is one of our longest serving devotees in New York. All right, thank you. Haribol. Good to see you. So please don't feel shy. There's no pressure. But definitely, if you would like to give something tonight, please do so. I don't know that. Jai Shri Krishna Prabhu, please give him a round of applause. Okay, so we have to. Next, we'd like to thank Yashoda Dulal Prabhu and Shri Radhika Mataji for giving a pledge tonight.
No one's telling me
Yashoda Dulal Prabhu has given, I need to see the cards. So, just to keep tally, Palaka Prabhu and his family had sponsored today $1,000. Please give them a round of applause. Jai Shri Krishna Prabhu has sponsored $2,500. And Yashoda Dulal Prabhu has sponsored today $5,000. Next, Abhay Wadwa has sponsored today $1,000. Thank you very much for your kindness. Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, please, you have the gift to give. Gift. Next, we have Murli Krishna Prabhu, who has given today $500. Please, well, thank him. Okay. For a donation of $1,000, please thank Yatin Singla. Hare Krishna. I just got word that large donor was Mr. Shyam Jain, who had donated $5,000. So Brajaraj Prabhu and family has donated $500. Please give them a round of applause. Rajneesh Tiwari, another $500 donor tonight. Gaur Kumar Prabhu has donated Haribol, $10,000. Hari Bol. Gaur Kumar Prabhu is the president of ISKCON 26 2nd Avenue, and it is truly our honor to hear that tonight. Our activities over the last year in ISKCON New York were done under the shade of ISKCON 26 2nd Avenue, so we are grateful that he has come forward tonight. Prema Biharini Dasi and Sham Sundar Das have donated $500. Please give them a round of applause. Alex Saibal and Meena Prabhus have donated $500. Thank you very much, Prabhu. Murli Gopal Prabhu, our scientist.
I'm just doing it for Vrindavan Prabhu.
Oh. Murli Gopal Prabhu, on behalf of Vrindavan Prabhu, has given $500. Hari Bol. Durga Rani Mataji, one of our longest donors, has given $1,000 tonight. Hare Krishna, thank you. Now please, if you have given your pledge cards, please make sure to fulfill your pledge tonight at the book table so you can collect your books. We have, Vishal Tyagi has donated $500 tonight. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Sandeep. I know, but should I mention your name? Sure. You okay? So, unexpectedly and most gratefully, we are grateful to His Grace Sandeep Patel, who has donated $10,000 tonight. We have Damodar Prabhu, who helped dress Radha Govinda tonight. He has donated $500. Please give him a round of applause. We have Ketan Doshi Prabhu, who has donated $2,500 tonight to get one of those special Bhagavatam sets. We have Nitya Dita Prabhu, who is a Nirvrindavan Brijavasi, who has come forward to bless all of us tonight with a wonderful gift of $500. Thank you.
gave half cash tonight.
Don't worry about it. We have Geeta Govinda Mataji, who has donated $1,000 tonight. Please give her a round of applause. There you go. Geeta Govinda Mataji is also one of Radha Govinda's bakers, so please give her a round of applause. Katyayani Dasi and Bhakta David and family have donated $1,000 tonight. Hare Krishna, thank you. Please don't forget to take your gift tonight, as well as the books. Subha Anand Joshi and family have donated $500. Please give them a round of applause. Hanumant Bhatt has donated $1,000 tonight. Please give them a round of applause. So we are grateful for everyone who has come forward tonight. Don't feel pressure to participate, but if you are pressured, please come forward. Peer pressure is good in this case. We have a donation of $200 from Christine Mataji. Thank you very much for coming tonight and participating. Vrinda Agarwal has donated $1,500 tonight. She wanted a Bhagavatam set and a CC set, so thank you very much. Guru Prasad Prabhu and Vrindavan Vinodani and family have donated, care of Vrindavan Vinodani and family have donated $500. Yes. So Guru Prasad Prabhu is the disciple of Srila Prabhupada from Ottawa who has come here for this special event tonight. Rasanath Prabhu has donated an undisclosed amount tonight. Please give him a round of applause. Braja Mani Dasi has donated $1,000 tonight. Please give her a round of applause. Amish Patel Prabhu has donated $500 tonight. Please give them a round of applause. Every penny donated tonight will be used for the specific purposes. Kula Pradeep Prabhu, Haribo, you have donated $500 tonight. Thank you very much. So we have a few more minutes before we begin tonight's kirtan and end the festivities. Thank you all for being very patient and sitting through this long presentation. Forgive me for speaking for so long. It's not, something I'm accustomed to doing, nor are you accustomed to hearing. But for this specific purpose, we have coming forward, I see. We thank Jory H. Jorge Prabhu for donating, ¿cuánto? Jyotishwar Prabhu, ¿cuánto? Cinco. Jyotishwar Prabhu for donating $5,000 tonight. Hari Hari Bol. A devotee who doesn't want to give his name has donated $1,000 tonight. Please give them a round of applause. Give the cards. Yeah, fast. Sunita Mataji and Gopal Prabhu have given $500. Blake. Yeah, I need the number. Anu Kol Mataji has donated $1,000 tonight. Please give her a round of applause. Urugaya Prabhu is one of our longtime Radha Govinda devotees and a great cook. We're hoping to improve the Sunday feast time so that he can come and cook for Radha Govinda again. He has donated $500 tonight. Oh, excuse me, $1,500 tonight. Thank you very much. Urugaya Prabhu. Urugaya. Brajasaki Mataji has donated $500 tonight. Please give her a round of applause. Hare Krishna. Prem Sankirtan Prabhu has donated, and his family, $500. Please give them a round of applause. Ekavira and Vrajalila Mataji have $500. So these are two devotees who are actually walking the walk and talking the talk tonight. Ramesh Patel, one of our longest congregation members since Srila Prabhupada's time, has donated $1,000 tonight. Please give him a round of applause. His Grace Premananda Prabhu, one of our longest, actually one of the first babies of Radha Govinda Temple, he's donated $1,000 tonight. He grew up under Radha Govinda's eyes, So now he is coming forward to also help in their future. His Grace Anuttama Prabhu, one of the long time New York devotees. We can talk a lot of stories about him. He can tell a lot of stories about Radha Govinda too. He has donated tonight $1,000 tonight in service of Radha Govinda. Thank you very much.
I used to be Radha Govinda's
I know.
Pujari.
We want you to come and serve.
We come back.
Yeah, your children are all moved on, so now you're retired, so come and serve. Kalindi Mataji and family have donated $500 tonight. Okay, Rasakrita, Ananya and Madhava, my two little daughters, have dug out of their piggy banks and donated $200 tonight. And this is my niece Tarini Radhika. She's also donated $100 tonight, so please give her a round of applause. Raphael Prabhu has donated $1,000 tonight. Thank you very much, Prabhu. He is one of our volunteers, has done a lot of service here. No Name Prabhu has given $500, so please give him your blessings. This Harini and Haryansh and family have donated $500 online. They've used our online feature today. Please give them a round of applause. Mahagopi Mataji, one of our board members, she has donated $500 today. Please give her a round of applause. You have to get the gift from Sri Gadadhar Prabhu and Prema Ras Mataji have donated $2,500 tonight. Thank you very much. Okay, we have just 3 more minutes left before the kirtan. If anyone else would like to come forward, now is your chance to do it and to get the direct blessings of the. We need the card. We know his name. Yeah. So Bhakta Larry has donated $500 tonight. Please give him a round of applause. He met Srila Prabhupada at the Rath Yatra in New York and has stuck around ISKCON ever since. So please give him a round of applause. He's part of our cleaning crew here. I did. So we have just 2 more minutes. We have. You have the number? Oh. So what is your name? So Bhaktin Carly has been doing a count. Thank you. So up to this point, we have received pledges equaling $74,000. Keep going, not me. You have to give them. Yeah. Bhushara Prabhu, one of our longtime New York devotees and family, has given $500. Vishnu Raghubar Prabhu, he has donated today $2,500. He is also, Vishnu, come back. You have to get the gift. He is also one of Radha Govinda's children. He grew up under Radha Govinda's eyes here, so please bless him. He's a contractor and doing some nice work. He'll be doing some of the renovation work in the temple, so please bless him. He's been asking for so long how he can do some work for the Radha Govinda, so now give it to the Maharajas in there. What's your name? Manmohan Krishna Prabhu and family have donated $1,000. Hari Hari Bol. Please give them a round of applause. So we have 60 seconds left. 60 seconds left. If anyone would like to come forward and give a pledge tonight. Krishna has been so kind to us and all of you that we are on time. We advertise we will start kirtan at 7:30 and it is exactly 7:29. So we have 1 more minute. If anyone would please come forward to.
Okay, one more.
We have 1 more devotee who is furiously writing the pledge card. I hope he's the one asking for the guided tour. So again, just to reiterate, every donation given tonight, we can assure you with every level of confidence that we have that the funds will be utilized for the specific purpose for which we have asked for tonight. We already have some of the materials ready. I've been getting text messages from our devotees, when can we start the construction drawings? So that we will be beginning, I think over the Christmas break when I can get a few days off. We'll start putting together the drawings. And we intend to break ground at the beginning of 2020. So any other devotees coming forward? Oh, wow. Jagannath Prabhu is coming forward. That's okay, just say what you have to say. Come forward. So he is a Gita Nagari cowherd boy. He has come here today. So from Gita Nagari, we're getting a donation of $500 for tonight's proceedings. Please get a gift. Okay, we're having a couple of more donations. Let's get the, hey Govind Prabhu, let's get the harmonium and mridangas all set up now so we can begin the kirtan. We have a couple of more donations coming in. Kishore Chandra Prabhu has donated $500 today. Please give him a round of applause. He is a budding yoga teacher at the Bhakti Center, and we wish him well on his Krishna conscious journey. Thank you. Hopefully, once we have a yoga studio here, we can have you come and teach. Hari Chakra Prabhu and family have given $1,000 tonight. So now it is exactly 7:31, and our grand total that we received in donations tonight is $78,000. Thank you very much for all of your help. And we have done this on the basis of distributing Srimad Bhagavatams, which is what Srila Prabhupada's first activity was in raising funds for his ISKCON, fledgling ISKCON in New York. So we are following 100% in Srila Prabhupada's footsteps tonight. So thank you again for coming tonight. We will have requested His Holiness Radhanath Swami to lead all of us in a rousing kirtan. Prasadam will be served at 8 o'clock sharp. So for those of you who need to leave early, thank you for coming tonight, but please make sure you take prasadam before you go. If you need to pack it, it's okay. We will accommodate to the best of our ability. Thank you all again for coming tonight. Shri Shri Radha Govinda Deva Ke, Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada Ke, Shri Shri Radha Govinda Mandir Ke, ISKCON New York Yatra Ke, Nitai Gaur Premanande. Would you like to play harmonium or dance or chant, or would you like to? Okay.
Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine.
Sri
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Very loudly Shri Radha Govinda Dev Ki with great sincerity, with a prayerful mood in our hearts, for the suffering of all beings, let us loudly resound throughout the universe the holy names Shri Radha Govinda. Everyone together. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Many millions of times louder with great feeling. Everyone please. Hare reaching out with the causeless grace of Sri Radha Govinda. With all our hearts, everyone. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, one more time. Shri Radha Govinda ki. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Radha Govinda, Radha Govinda, Radhe. Sri Radha Govinda, Radha Govinda, Radhe. Sri Radha, Sri Radha, Sri Radha, Govinda, Radha, Govinda, Radhe. Jaya Radha Govinda, Radha Govinda, Radhe. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Ananti Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai. Sri Hari Nam Sankirtan ki jai. Go Premanande. Hari Hari.